Hey guys, I just wanted to come to you from Wes's house. We are in Collinsville, Illinois, helping with a church plant here. Wes has been a part of the church plant. You've been up here for quite a few years now.
Yeah, we moved here in 2017, started the
17.
church, I think in August of that year.
Yeah, so 5 years,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. Wes and I have known each other for years and years. Back when I was doing children's homework, he was planting college ministries and helping do that. And they've got their own college ministry, kind of a training program, I guess you would call it, right?
Yep.
Called
Campus Ministry United.
Campus Ministry United.
Yep.
And so he's got a background in preaching, teaching. Dad's a longtime preacher. And they ended up here to help plant the church, help get things kind of rolling. They came up here. I don't think you had a job or anything.
No, man, we moved here
Right.
not knowing how we were going to pay bills. Actually, there was a good church here, and we just wanted to be part of a good church and learn. They were planting churches.
Yeah.
And so we came here and we're like, hey, man, if I have to go get a job, we'll go get it. So things were tight.
Yeah. So y'all moved up here just to learn initially.
Yeah.
And then y'all chose the chosen area for you to plant the church. And then initially you guys didn't have a building or anything, right? Y'all met in a hotel.
Yeah, now we actually did own the building,
okay.
But it wasn't renovated.
Okay.
And we found out the city, I won't get into all of it, but the city was going to require way more work than they initially told us. So we had to come up with like twice the money. So it delayed us like two and a half years getting in there. But yeah, it was an adventure.
So he was church planting, saw that we had started marketing with a mission way back when. And I probably had posted in one of the groups you and I were in or something, I would imagine. Is how we first got connected on that.
Yeah, so no, some friends of mine in Oklahoma, you had talked with them.
That's right.
And they were like, hey, you remember that Cory guy? He's doing this business. And I was like, well, that sounds kind of, so I actually contacted you because of them.
Yeah, because he was doing is that when he was doing the pest control company or whatever it was? Yeah. And so that's how we kind of got connected initially. He started the marketing with a mission program. We'll kind of talk about that in a minute. But they are now in the plant, have a building, church meeting every week. Things are growing. We were able to go with them last Sunday and meet a lot of the students, the staff, and the other members of the church. And we're going to get to do some other cool stuff this weekend. But I want you to give everybody an idea of your journey, because you and I were talking the other day and you said you got into the training, the initial way back when MWAM training, which was super simple. Yeah. It took you almost a year, you said, to land your first client or something like that?
It was a long time. It was, and I'll just tell you, I was skeptical on the front end, and I've told you that, but for you guys, when I heard about this opportunity, I was like, that sounds too good to be true. Yeah. Like you can work 2 to 3 days a week and build a business.
No way.
Yeah. Like that's what's the catch? That's what I'm wondering. Like it just sounded too good to be true, but I was like, but I think Cory's a good guy. And the people that I know, like the selling point for me was other people I know that were like, no, Cory's somebody you could trust.
Yeah. We knew a lot of the same people.
We did. And so I was like, you know what? And then I talked to you on the phone and it sounded like just kind of the business model and everything. A lot of stuff I like to do anyway, like tech stuff. And I've got a background in sales. So that wasn't new to me. In fact, I sold insurance when we moved here. We didn't know how we were going to pay bills. So I went and got an insurance license and actually sold insurance for a minute.
So why do you think it took you so long to get that first one under your belt?
Did you
build a site?
I did. So I went through the training. I think I started in May of 2019 or March or something. But I think I had my first site up around May.
Okay.
And then it started generating leads that summer. And that was the thing. Like it took me a while to actually get that first site online because I had Google listings getting suspended. Right, and that was my first one. Yeah. Like that was, and so it was like,
you were frustrated.
This is bull crap, is what I was thinking, Stupid. But then we finally got it to stick, and then it started working.
Yeah.
And I started, I was at church camp, And I had the leads coming to me because I didn't have a client on it. And I just started getting hammered at church camp, like every day, like 5 calls. And I'm just like, and these were like big jobs.
Yeah.
Like,
What kind of site was that?
Vinyl, it was fencing and deck.
Okay.
And so these were like vinyl fences, composite decks,
big money,
you know, like gazebo, you know, stuff like that.
And you're at church camp.
And I'm at church camp and I'm like, and so
what do I do with these?
Yeah, that was honestly when I was sold though. That was when I was like, okay,
I saw it work.
I can do this, you know, because I'm in sales, a lot of salespeople, they just fly through their teeth. And I won't do that. You know, if it's a product I believe in, I can sell it, but I'm not going to lie. And, you know, so up to that point, I had talked with a few contractors, but I was like, I'll be honest, I don't know if this is going to work. That's not the best way.
Well, that is a sales pitch.
Yeah.
Probably not the best sales pitch.
But after it started working, I was like, oh, I can do this. And so it still took me a long time though. Like even after that to get a client on there that stuck because it was my first one. I didn't have stories to tell.
Tested guys, send them leads.
Tested, you find out they're crooked, you know, or they lie to you. Yeah, lie to you. So I did that. But what I did with that time is I went ahead and just started building more sites.
Yeah.
And I built several. And then I got some friends of mine in Oklahoma. I had another friend that was a minister and church planter who needed some extra income, but he's older and he didn't want to mess with learning how to do websites.
He's not techie at
all. He
all.
was like, you know what? I said, if I build the stuff and get it generating, will you go sell it in this other market? And he was like, yeah. So I started building sites for him. He's a great salesman. He went and sold like immediately. I was so jealous.
Yeah, y'all grew fast.
Yeah, and so he started, and we just split the profit.
And so y'all still have those.
Yeah, we still do.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Yep.
So he actually was the first sale.
For his pest control business.
Yeah. Well, no, it was I think a fencing site we built, but that was our first client.
Okay.
And so that was like my first income was really my friend selling for me. But then shortly thereafter, you know, I started getting clients here locally.
Yeah.
And once I had a couple and I started having stories to tell, like I think the first guy that it was actually, I had a tree fall on my house. And on this house over there. And so it messed up my roof and messed up my gutter. So I started calling roofing contractors to come over and look at my house. But I intentionally went to like page 3 or 3 in Google. And I found the guys that were ranked horribly because I had built a roofing site.
Yeah.
And so this guy came over and it was the first roofing site I built. But he did my work here and he was real kind, like real nice. And
is that the guy you have now?
Trey, yeah.
And
he's a big
hunter.
And so I connected with it because I'm a hunter. Like I like to hunt. So we were talking and I was like, you know, I got this thing I'm trying and I'm new to this. Like, I don't really
another great sales pitch.
I don't really know if it's gonna work, you know, but I was like, can you help me test this thing?
I don't know if it's gonna work.
Just to see if it's gonna work. Because I hadn't done roofing before. And I was being honest. I was just like, I don't know. And so I hooked him up to this thing and he started getting calls. The first lead he got was like a siding job for a apartment complex.
Oh my goodness.
And so it was like a $72,000
oh my
job.
goodness.
And he had a marketing guy for his business.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I went and looked at his site. Like the guy didn't even put backlinks on their company site. Like it was just snake oil he was selling, which you'll find if you get into SEO, a lot of these guys are just crooks.
They are.
They're not doing anything. Like, and you can learn to spot it really quick. But anyway, he came back to me like all excited, like 2 weeks later, and he's like, I want to buy that. I don't want my competition getting that. And so he's since gone on to buy a bunch of them from me because they're working. You know? And so that's one client. I had another guy, like, I think even maybe around the same time, or maybe even a little bit before him, it was 2020. It was like getting close to summer. So almost a year. This guy he added me as a friend on Facebook. And I noticed I didn't know the guy, but I noticed when he added me, he was a contractor. And so I thought he might be adding me because of my business or somebody had referred him or whatever. So I messaged him. Turned out it was just because I'm a preacher, he'd heard.
The opposite of what normally.
Yeah, but I was like, hey, I own a marketing company. Did you add me because of this? And he was like, no, but it's funny you messaged me because I have a $30,000 marketing budget. And I need somebody to come work for me. And so that was another client I got. Okay. And I mean, within a short amount of time, he had ordered initially 9 sites, and then he added
that was
another
that
3.
big one.
Yeah. And so that was up $10,000-$12,000 a month. He didn't make it. His business went under. He made some really poor hires, and some people were stealing from him. But I got that income for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
You know, so like for a preacher that is wondering how you're going to pay your bills, an extra 20 grand
that comes in handy
in 2 months is big money.
That's
like
huge.
And so but anyway, like since then, like I've just slowly grown, and the more niches that I've gotten into, like the easier it is to talk to people, because I've built my confidence up in this. I feel like
the sales isn't a problem.
It's really not, because it's just telling stories. And
you're just talking about your other clients.
100% honest with this stuff. I'm not gonna. I would rather undersell and over deliver than oversell and under deliver. And so I'm just real honest. If I'm moving into a niche I don't know anything about, I just tell them, I don't know if this is going to work.
I still do that to this day. After doing tons and tons of sites and niches, we still do that.
Good way. I mean, you
just
really,
be honest.
Yeah. You don't know. Like I had a guy hire me to do solar. He does solar in a bunch of places. And I told him, I was like, hey, you're a good guy. I'm just telling you, I don't know if this is going to work.
And yesterday,
I'm going to give it a shot. And he started getting leads.
He got a lead yesterday.
So we'll see, you know.
So let's talk because I know there's a lot of things I want to touch on.
Okay.
One of the things that you enjoy about this being a full-time minister in the community is that you don't have to actually introduce yourself that way.
No.
And watch that immediate mass go up.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, because around here in the Midwest, you know, we're not Bible Belt, but it's still pretty religious. And so people know the rules.
Yeah.
Rules.
Yeah, the rules.
The rules they learned about, you know.
So as soon as they find out you're a preacher,
they don't want to cuss anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about, you know,
anything
going out and getting high or drinking. You know, they don't want to be themselves.
Yeah.
And I like being able to introduce myself as a business owner.
Yeah.
Like I own a marketing agency. People ask me, what do you do? I own a marketing company.
And then,
I work with
and then you invite them to church.
Yeah.
And then
they show up, and then I get up to preach, and they're like,
wait, what?
Where are we? You know, it's pretty hilarious. But
isn't that the marketing guy?
No, it's like it's an open door for evangelism.
Yeah.
Because I can talk to these guys like peers. And once you have some success, and you know, some of these business owners out there start looking at you that way, they hear you different.
That's right.
You know,
the guy we met with last week.
Yeah.
And what you're meeting with again this week.
Yeah. And so I just talk to them, you know, like I would a friend.
Yeah.
But it's a different, like, they hear you differently than if you're just some religious guy that they don't really think has a handle on the world. You know
I hadn't really thought about it, because I haven't been, while we've been doing this business, people find out I'm a minister, but it's always after the fact.
Yeah.
Right. They find out I'm a agency owner first. They find out I do marketing first.
Yeah.
Then later on down the road, they usually find out, oh, you did ministry. Oh, okay. Well, you know, but I know when I was doing ministry, same way, right? I mean, they just shut down. It's like wall goes up.
Yeah.
They think that all of a sudden they got to become something that they're not.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool, because that's something that I hadn't personally thought about, but I know probably a lot of the people that are in our group that are probably dealing with.
Awesome to not say I love it.
So let's talk about the other client, and I want to make sure we talk about what we just did today too. So your business at this point, this year, you should easily do 6 figures.
Yeah.
And this is, give everybody an idea of how much time, because I know you and I have talked about how much time you spend a week. You got church duties. He's got 4 kiddos. He has family all around here that he helps with and helps take care of. And give everybody an idea of what your work schedule looks like.
So Sunday's my busiest day,
right?
Because we do church, and I have stuff going on all the time. And so that's a really busy day. That's like church. We do small groups, and sometimes I have meetings on top of that. So that's a busy day. Monday's my day off. Generally on Monday, I lay around and do nothing.
Yeah.
sometimes we'll have a staff meeting Monday evening, but if I have anything going on Monday, it's usually, that's it. And that's not every week. That's not it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's every once, like every 2 weeks or so, we'll get together for an hour or two with just our staff here. But other than that, Tuesday is my business day. So I get up Tuesday, I work on websites, or, I'll go through training, I'll talk to clients. Wednesday, I meet with our church planners.
Yeah.
So
I was
for the
lucky
first half
enough
of
to
the
be able
day,
to do that.
yeah, which is cool. We've got a bunch of church plants.
That was really cool.
And so all of our staff for those get together and we eat, talk. Wednesday afternoon is another kind of business day. So Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, generally I'm working on sermon prep or printing stuff.
Church stuff.
And then half of that day might be business stuff. Friday is generally whatever administrative church stuff needs to get done that time. We're very active. Like we've got a very active church. A lot of my evenings are also church related stuff. But during the day, it's generally for the business, Tuesdays, Wednesday half day, Thursday half day.
So we're talking maybe 15, 16 hours a week.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah. And sometimes more. Like if there's a week when I'm not preaching, I might spend more that week.
Sure.
Like this
you're not
week.
doing sermon prep.
Yeah, like this week. I'm not preaching this week, so I would do more.
That's why we've been going everywhere we do.
Yeah.
That's why. No.
Well,
I'm
gonna milk this for all it's worth. You're here for the month. We're doing this all the time. No, but
I mean, where else could you work less than 20 hours a week on average and make 6 figures a year? I mean, let's
selling drugs. I used to do that too. Sell dope. Prostitution.
There's not very many things.
You're talking legal? Okay, legal. Okay.
Stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I've exhausted my options at this point.
That's what you want to hear out of the preacher's mouth.
Hey man, I was a man of the world. What can I say?
Wes has a crazy background and story that I'll let you guys look up if you guys want to at some point.
My testimony's on my Facebook page. You can go listen.
Yeah. So let's talk about what happened this last week. So I get here this last week, and Wes goes, I have a massive lead that came through for one of my clients, the roofing client we were talking about earlier, that I'm not really sure what to do with. I'm not sure how to help them and what it's going to look like. And we met with this client this last week and basically figured out that it could be a $50 million or more lead.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
Yeah.
Maybe more, especially when you tack on additional services from other niches on top of that. And so did you ever think that you could bring some like that kind of value to? I personally have got, I got all these sites. I've never seen a lead that big.
Yeah.
And it's a legit lead.
Yeah.
That big. You ever thought about because you ran the numbers the other night and you were going at minimum.
Yeah.
I could do $750,000 to me because guys, this is a percentage deal for him.
Yeah, I get 5% of whatever.
5% of the deal. That could be life-changing money.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nuts. And these guys are aggressive.
Yeah.
They're not going to let go of it without getting either.
And there's a lot of moving parts.
Right.
I will
Could
honestly,
happen, may not.
I will be surprised if it does.
Right.
I don't have my hopes up though either.
Right.
And that's another thing. Anyway.
But the cool
talk
part
about that in a second.
The cool part about it is though, the value that you brought to the table for this client. I think sometimes we think, oh, client, why would they pay us $2,000 a month for a site or even $500 for a site?
Yeah.
And then you have one lead that comes through like that.
Yeah.
That is just massive.
Yeah.
That could pay for the next 100 years of marketing for that guy. Right. The value of one lead can be worth the $2,000 or $3,000 a month.
Yeah. And if you get in some of this niche stuff that's higher end,
which is where you seem to find yourself a lot.
The sky's the limit. You're learning some of these things pay more than others.
They do pay more than others.
And when you're, and the amount of stuff out there is, when we were getting trained and some of the guys in Tulsa jumped on this, there were several that jumped on it at once. People don't understand. You can have a mid-sized, 100,000 to 300,000 population market
Yeah.
If you just have one of those,
Yeah.
for a marketer,
Yep.
you can do enough with just that.
Yep.
To make an incredibly good living.
Incredibly good.
Without even going to another
Very
market.
parts.
Like there's so many different niches
Right.
that you could hit. Like there's just
well, we were in the roofing company the other day and we learned about another one.
Yeah.
The other day
we're there, another product they offer where it's like that's a whole
I never even heard of it.
Niche.
I've never even heard
and
of
it's
it.
this like big money niche. You know what I mean? Like
big
but nobody's doing anything.
Nobody's doing it.
And so finding stuff like that is like
it's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say what it is because you guys are marketers. And I'm keeping my intel to myself. But yeah, there's stuff out there like that you can kill it with one thing.
I think you're starting to see, you already knew there was opportunity.
Yeah.
But now those, like I can see the wheels spinning.
Yeah, I haven't been able to sleep like since this stuff started because that's how my mind works. Like I'm an insomniac when my brain gets going and yeah.
So we sat down with one of your business partners the other day, kind of like the other one you have in Tulsa, but one here local. Great guy in our training program. And he does the sales. Wes does all the back end stuff, right? We've told you guys a lot that can work if you get the right people involved.
Yeah.
And we laid out a plan the other day to add another 15, 20K a month to y'all's income pretty easily. You and I
scale it. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
you and I were just talking about it could be way bigger than that if you guys want to. And it's just this market.
Yeah.
Never going outside of just the market.
And you can build, there's all kinds of different ways to approach this. And you get to the point where if you get some capital coming in, some of you guys are intimidated by developing the websites.
Yeah.
When you get into this, it's not your thing. You can pay somebody to do that crap.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And you can pay somebody to do it, and then you can just go do the sales.
Yep.
And so that's kind of my friend. He doesn't want to make websites, but if somebody else will kind of manage them, he's a heck of a salesman.
Like, he's got sales written all over.
And so he'll kill it. And so that's one thing that we've got going. We got a bunch of other stuff going now too.
Yeah, you and I were just having that conversation about this may be the first time that you've really thought about the fact that you could have real wealth. And you and I were talking about this earlier, that the whole point of that real wealth would be to do more church plants.
Yeah.
And to do more like with what you're already doing. And to be able to maybe take care of some of the building projects.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that is a pain right now for a church plant to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's no money.
I know what it feels like to not have.
Right. Yeah. Not have any money.
To want to do ministry and not have. I'm telling you guys, if you know me, some of you guys watching this, you know me, some of you don't. I don't care about money. I don't. Like, I see money as a tool. Money is a tool to help people. I'm inspired by, I had a friend out in California, he reversed tithes. And I've told you about it. He's made a lot of money. He gives 90% and keeps 10 and lives off 10. Like, that's my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm hopefully saying that to inspire some of you guys to make sure your heart's in the right place, because that money's not my treasure. But that money is a tool that I can use to introduce people to my treasure. And my treasure is Jesus. And that's something you guys can do too. And one of the things I really appreciate about Cory is he's a guy that I kind of feel a kindred spirit with on some of this stuff. He's been highly, highly successful, but you hang out with him, he's not about that. He's about helping and loving people.
Oh, I know it.
And how cool would it be, like, to have a little army of people who really love Jesus? Like, how much more good can we do? With the thing, as long as our hearts are in the right place. The danger of wealth is pride. If you go read Deuteronomy 8, where God is leading the Israelites in, and he's speaking through Moses to these people, and he's saying, I'm going to give you all of these blessings. I'm going to give you this wealth. Make sure you don't forget me, because you're going to look at your hands and say, look what my hands have made. That's the danger. And so as you get success, you're going to be tempted to be prideful about it and to think, look at how special I am. I'm so much smarter than that guy and that guy. And you'll start looking down on people instead of loving people. And so
what's crazy is it becomes easier and easier to do the business the longer you're in it, which is what you're finding now, right? So you're seeing now that the opportunity is bigger. And like we just left a meeting where he's probably going to be a 20-25% owner in a brand new business. I say brand new, not really, kind of a new business.
He just closed the deal last week for $300,000.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking a business that's already creating money. Yep. And basically the guy sitting at the table going, I want you to part of my company. Yep.
I was gonna ask for 10%.
He says, I'll take 10, maybe 15%. The guy goes, dude, no,
25.
I think you should be at 25% because I want you serious about this.
Okay. You know what I mean? But like, can you imagine?
We're not talking about 25% of the profit, like of a lead. We're talking about of the business,
the overall revenue of the business. This is going to be a multi-million-dollar business, more than likely.
Yeah.
2 years ago, this would not have been within the realm of possibility.
No. You were still probably struggling like we were 7 years ago to pay your bills.
We were just trying to pay our bills and trying to buy groceries. Like we had to literally quit buying certain things in our groceries because we just
couldn't afford it.
Which we're fine. Like I don't care. Like we're fine living like that. We weren't complaining. But then when I saw there's this opportunity to make a little bit more, I was thinking, oh, another $1,000 a month. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I think that's what you and I talked about initially.
Like that's
if I could just make an extra grand a month.
Just wanted a little bit more, like just so we could, buy an extra gallon of milk. Like seriously.
Yeah, he's got growing kids.
Yeah. But wealth is not something I ever wanted. It's not something I ever desired, and it's still not. Like he asked me, how do you feel after we left that meeting? I was like, I don't really feel anything.
He gave me nothing. He gave me nothing.
Like, but I'm not motivated by money.
No, but what we were talking about is this is just another tool, another stream of income that can be used to go church plant, go do the things you want.
So we are planting churches. Like one of the things we struggle with, because like most of our kids come out of poverty. We do a lot of work with kids coming out of the project. We're right over here by Ferguson. Like if you watch the news, like a lot of our kids were driving through tear gas. Like a lot of our kids at our churches were driving through tear gas to go home. This is a rough area. And so, there's not, for the kids that grow up in situations like that, a lot of opportunity, they feel like. And so when you're planning churches, and a lot of those are your kinds of folks are your church members, you struggle with finances just to send a team out somewhere to plant churches. We have to really scrape and we're fine doing that. Like that's, I think it's good for our hearts to work hard, like, and so, but man, I'm just dreaming like how many more things could we do if we learned how to leverage our talents.
Yeah. Which is what you did at lunchtime today.
Yeah.
You leveraged your talent to literally become a part owner of another company that already has ran probably 400,000 or 500,000, or has 400,000 or 500,000 on the quotes books that they're going to be doing. That could be could be a multi-million-dollar company that you did nothing. You've put no money into.
Well, but the reason I have credibility with that guy is because he had taken another one of my properties.
Right.
Because I worked out a deal for them to mow my grass at my church building.
Yep.
And I was like, I'll give you leads for free if you'll just take care of it. Now he opens this other business, and who's he coming to talk to about marketing? Yep. Because he's been getting leads off of this website for a year, and he sees how well it works. And
which you didn't even charge him for.
No, I didn't even charge him. I just gave it.
He's mowing the church, he's mowing your grass.
And my yard looks like crap, which I'm going to talk with him about. My church looks great.
They just started cutting this week, so maybe he just hadn't made it to you.
He needs to get over here. It looks like crap. But yeah, like it's weird. Like 2 years ago, if you'd asked, do you think this
totally different place?
You go from being skeptical about this program, but thinking, well, Cory's a good guy. Then to get into the program and start doing it, you're like, I think this might be a bunch of crap because I couldn't get that site verified. And then it starts working, and now like just slowly start building, and there's things happening.
Only real talk at Wes's house.
I try to speak frankly. No, it's been great. And Cory, you've been great, man. Like anytime there's been a problem, one of the real values I think was that Facebook group. I can go in there and ask a question.
Yeah.
Now you have guys like me, like, which I had a background in web development before I got into this, like not professionally, just just for fun.
Tech stuff.
I like that stuff. You know, I used to blog. I've made some websites for other stuff. So I wasn't totally new to that game, and I kind of know that stuff. But now you have guys like me in there who've done this for a while. You guys can ask questions, and you know, we can help sometimes with stuff. I don't know. I like helping people, and I like loving people, and
well, that's really all it's about, right?
It really is. This just enables you to do that more.
Your sales pitch is probably a little bit better than what it was when you started.
Yeah, like I don't really know if this is gonna work.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm new to this. I have no idea. Pay me some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit different now than what it was back then.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So I mean, literally, since the time that I've been here, you've landed one new deal. Because the deck guy, from one area, you've moved to another area, and you've got a new client in the deck building. You've got this massive $50 million potential quote deal thing that's cooking that could turn into who knows what, which, by the way, is just one lead that we don't know how many more are out there that are like that.
I can go after those.
There's millions
because
of those out there.
Yeah.
And this was, by the way, guys, this was a niche that he just kind of stumbled into. It wasn't like he thought, oh, this would be a great niche. He just stumbled into it, and by trying it, testing it, and going through the struggle, it's working. And the other one that you found that day that could be another potential.
Haven't even talked to them about that.
Hadn't even tapped that yet. You got the guy today that could be a multi-million-dollar business really easily.
20 to 25% of that
25% of the company. And when I got here the other day, I was like, dude, you need to start getting pieces of these businesses. And you were like, how do I do that? Well, I've been here less than a week. I've been here less than a week, and he has a piece of a company now. The other cool part is you helped is he your nephew? I always forget his name. Alamede.
He's Nigerian.
Man, his name just always gets me. So your nephew started a business that you've been helping with. That you're also going to have a piece of. So you've got a couple of businesses now that you're going to have actual.
I forgot about that.
Ownership in. You're going to have.
Well, then we got a 50-50 with my friend Juan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
so
the other
one.
The other business.
3. Ever since you started bringing up this,
in the world,
we got 3 of them.
Golly.
So within a couple of weeks.
You owe me a big steak.
I really do.
So
I really do.
Guys, this is the thing. This is the potential, right? Wasn't easy in the beginning.
No.
Struggled to make the first sale, stuck in it, even though he didn't really believe in it. Thought it was a bunch of garbage. Got to church camp, got overwhelmed with leads. Started believing in it. Then went through a bunch of different leads until he found and initially, really, it was you and Lynn kind of working together. That really sparked the business.
He's a church planter. He's
doing the same thing, guys. He's a church planter in another location, doing the same business and needed income. So 2 church planters got together and helped both of them, right? Both of them have income coming now from that partnership. And so what's cool is it formed out of that until you got the confidence. And now you've got these stories you can tell. Like I heard you talking to, I think it was a concrete guy the other day. He's calling a guy. I'm sitting over here. I don't even know what I was doing. He's calling a guy talking about a site that he had sent, some leads he had sent a guy, because he does the same method that we teach. He builds a site, gets some leads, sends them to somebody for free, follows up with them, sees if they see if they do a good job.
Because they all think I'm a scammer.
They all think he's a scammer, just like they do you guys, right? And then all of a sudden they're getting all these leads, and now they're like, what do we do? And I heard him talking to the guy the other day, and it's no different than the conversations that we talk about you guys having all the time. He was like, hey man, I was just calling to check on those leads I sent. And then the guy's telling him, well, I'm actually on a job right now. And so I don't even know if have you followed up with that guy?
I talked with him again, and I think we're going to get together. He was saying, well, do you do other stuff too?
Oh, nice.
And I was like, yeah. And he's like,
what do you need?
I got a friend that does framing. I got another friend that does this. I got another friend that does that. If I bring them to you, will you give me a discount?
Oh, that's perfect.
And I was like, well, if I close a deal with them, I'll give you this
Absolutely.
much off. And so this is,
it's
we're
snowballing
just spinning it.
into,
I'm learning these ways to, networking client. Like I'm learning some tricks.
referrals.
And
He's taking his different clients.
like
getting them together.
I've got a roofer. Like if I have a solar, I'll be like, hey, I need to get you guys together. And then I tell my solar guy, you're asking for salesmen. I know a great salesman.
Right.
He happens to own this other company.
Right.
He's on roofs all the time.
He's already talking to the end
If
user.
you gave him like a slice of a clothes, he could sell these for you.
Yep.
As part of his business. And so I'm adding value to their companies now because like I'm just learning some tricks just to endear myself in a business sense to these guys where I'm bringing value. These are just things I'm picking up.
We sat down for 2 hours with that guy the other day and just spent some time with him. I was testing out some new training I'm about to throw into the group for you guys. So we were able to do that while we were there, and they were excited, and he was excited.
And this guy isn't a person of faith.
No.
So I've got this natural relationship with him through the business. So I'm like, hey, dude, I'm having UFC at my house Saturday. You want to come over and watch the fights? And
but that was a natural conversation.
It wasn't. And then, hey, you want to go to church with me? So like, it's natural. Like they know what I'm about when I get together with. They know what I'm about.
Yeah.
And so it's very natural. And I like
which makes it makes the business fun.
Yeah.
Helps the ministry out in all kinds of ways, financially, and just being able to give you opportunities to talk to people in the community.
Yeah.
Your business owner with other people in the community. And we were talking, I mean, you still got, like you were talking to the guy earlier, we still got some steps we need to get in place for your business piece and some tax stuff. And all that stuff's still coming.
I'm horrible at that stuff.
There's still some stuff. His wife is going to take all of that.
She's going to like me a lot better whenever we
And so there's still some stuff like that you need to kind of get better, but it's cool because who else do you know that can work less than 20 hours a week in between ministry responsibilities still? And really, it's not like you're not doing ministry while you're doing the business. That's what's cool about it, right?
That's
what I love about it.
It's all ministry.
That's what I love about it. And so it gives you the ability to do ministry while you're doing the business. It's providing a really good income that apparently only illegal things could provide otherwise. And it gives you guys an opportunity to just love on people in the community. Exactly. I mean, that's what's really cool is,
and it's not
they're getting to know you as that guy that's just helping.
You're not. I'm telling you, I love not being the preacher.
Yeah.
That to me is worth its weight in gold. Like that just changes the relational dynamic. And if you're going to impact somebody's life, you got to have a relationship with them.
Well, you got,
and that puts up walls to say you're the preacher. You know what I mean?
You're, as a church planner, I mean, you guys started with what, 30 people or something?
Yeah, counting kids, we had a little bit more than that. But yeah, around 30.
So y'all started with 30 people, just came over here and just started loving on people. I mean, that's literally
started campus ministry. Started some other stuff.
And the cool part about it is y'all, and we've talked about this, the feel of the church, the way you guys go about things, what's important. It's new Christians. Like you're on Sunday morning.
Most of our congregation,
they're mostly new Christians.
They don't know.
And that ranges from a whatever kiddo to, I think you said your wife was somebody the other day, she baptized like a 80-something-year-old woman.
Yeah,
something.
Miss Rosie.
Miss Rosie.
Mm-hmm. And we're working on her husband.
Yeah, she was telling me about that the other day. So it's not like it's like most churches go through seasons where they might, have a few new Christians come in, but that's all y'all do.
And the thing is, this is our fourth church over here. They're all like that.
Right.
And so there's
it's not just one.
Yeah, there's something in our culture where we're very intentional, but it's all relationship. We make friends. We make friends that love people.
Yeah. So so we're sitting in a staff meeting. I'll share a little bit here. I don't want to share too much until after we do it this weekend, but we're going to take some of these college kids. Wes and I are testing this thing the other day with the GoPro 360 photo stuff that you guys are all learning. I'm testing some new stuff, some new software, and some just kind of playing around with some stuff. Got go in and do all of this, and we're talking with the college campus minister here, and he's like, man, this sounds like a pretty good idea. And because we're talking about taking these kids that are coming out of the projects, one of them I talked to Sunday morning, he's sitting there going, I grew up with a single mom. The most she ever made was like 20, 30 grand a year. Like he just, money is just not like, financial IQ is just not there, and money is just something that's an issue, right? It's not something he knows anything about. It's not something, and he works a couple of jobs. He like drives for like people to non-emergency care or something for the hospital or something is what he's telling me the other day. I don't even know what, I don't know if you know what else he does. Anyway, he's sitting here and I'm going, dude, you could do,
I didn't even know he did that.
yeah, you could do like 3 to 5 hours of work with a 360 camera every week and far exceed what you're making right now doing all this other junk you're doing. And he's like, seriously. And so we're going to take a group of these college kids someday and teach them how to do 360 photos and get a couple of cameras for them. And Wes and the other college guy, they're going to kind of oversee it, make sure kind of how it all works, but it gives them an opportunity to do something that they would never be able to do otherwise. And that's what he was talking about a minute ago. If we could get a whole bunch of people that are doing ministry, that are loving on people and doing this business as something that's growing, creating, right? Man, what could we do just with the group we have now? I mean, we got over 1,000 people between the two programs now, and it's growing rapidly. So what could we do to not only increase income and to create time and involvement in communities that maybe don't have that, right? I mean, you guys came into this community and the need is, dude, the need's massive.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've seen so far, the need is huge. And you were already talking about, y'all are going to probably plant more churches.
We are, and we're starting drug
Here,
rehabilitation
right?
centers.
That's right.
That's something my family does. My parents actually run, and so we kind of have a model there. We were already planning to do that, but we were like, how are we going to fund it? Now it's like, well,
it may not be an issue.
Yes, we'll have funding. But that's all of this is just enabling ministry. That's what I love about it. Because my wife and I, we're not materialistic people. And again, guys, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that to inspire you. You don't have to be. You can take what you're doing. You know, you want to take care of your family, but you also, man, if you got more, why keep it? Yeah. Why not put it to work to help people? Why is it just kind of sitting in an account? Like, do I really want my do I want my grandkids to be rich without having to work? Would that be good for my grandkids? Like, you know, like, I don't know, man.
I can see though down the road, because your dad's gonna come up and y'all are gonna start the rehab stuff.
We already I spoke with an attorney. We're waiting on the federal paperwork.
Okay, so once that's done, he'll start that. Y'all have that rolling up here too. The church is rolling along at a really nice pace. Things are going really well with that. I could see you guys doubling your income this year, which would push you far into 6 figures.
Oh, I think at this point we're gonna
maybe triple your income this year.
Just
with the things you got cooking right now.
Yeah, if the deals work out with
and that's conservative,
the equity and all that.
Like that's not even that's conservative numbers. Which is just going to, again, feed all of these other things. Like you just said, you don't even have to really worry too much about the funding for the ministry, the rehab.
It's going to
ministry.
Come. It's going to come.
That could be a very easy thing for you to be able to fund.
And we've got staff and everything. To handle that. So,
guys, this is what the business to me is about. This is why I started MWAM in the first place. This is why I reached out to Bobby and Rob, 2+ years ago and said, hey guys, I'd love to do this, but I want to do it this way. I want to create a different culture. I want to create a different feel. I want to focus on things that to me matter, which is not the money. It's about creating the resource to be able to go do good. And I know a bunch of you are in that position now where you're growing your business. Some of you are just starting out. Some of you guys are just getting going and you're still trying to figure this thing out. And maybe you're in that first part of your business where you're sitting there going, does this stuff work? And this is Google's garbage and I hate Google and my listing got suspended and this and that. But I wanted you guys to hear this because I wanted you to hear what happens whenever you persist.
I'll just say I was this close to giving up. But like within the first few months because I couldn't get a sale. And I'm a good salesman. Like I've been for the companies that I worked for in the past, I worked for 800 employee companies, and I was in like the top 10 on their sales. And so this was not like,
wasn't like you haven't sold before.
I wasn't green when it came to that.
And you'd probably dealt with business sales, B2B sales.
Yeah. And it was, I struggled, and I came this close. And I remember just sitting at my desk, I was getting teary-eyed one time because I was so just discouraged. But I just made a decision. You know what? I paid this guy however much for this training. I'm not just going to waste that money. Because that was a lot of money.
Yeah, and you and I talked a little bit through that time, because I know you were frustrated.
Yeah, but I just made a decision. I'm gonna make this work, and I'm so glad I made that decision, because I almost gave up. And I think I've talked to a lot of business owners since then, and they're like, for just about every entrepreneur, you will find a time where you just hit a wall, and you just have to decide, am I going to throw up my hands and go work for somebody else, or am I going to keep persisting and push through this? And the ones that push through and don't give up are the ones that succeed. The ones that get discouraged and throw their hands up and say they're not going to do it anymore, those are the ones that, well, they just become another statistic. So I just encourage you guys, if you're discouraged, I've been there. Okay. Just keep pushing. This stuff works. This business model works. It's just a matter of finding the right client, and you can do it. So just keep pushing.
Yeah, for sure. Cause that's I think we get down, and then we get discouraged, and the negativity hits, and then that's all we can see, right? We can't see the opportunity in front of us, where fast forward 2 years later, now it's almost as if you've got more opportunity than we got Wes's to go around.
Yeah.
Right. It's
I've got guys coming to me now.
Yeah. Which you and I had this conversation this week about, how can I outsource, and get some of this stuff done. So we're working out something. As you guys know, we do outsourcing through PSF Store. And so, and Whammers can do the same thing, and order sites and stuff through us. But to take that burden off, so that these guys can go grow and get business and sell and do all of that, the return on it's still ridiculous. I mean, when you look at the return. So we just wanted to come on. Any last words or thoughts or anything you'd like to share?
Well, you are awesome.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate everything you've done. And Ariel and I, I feel like we have a kindred spirit.
Oh, for sure.
We're just, gonna be lifelong friends.
She told me a minute ago she only dances with people that she really loves, and then she danced for me. And so his wife is I love her to death already. And so make sure you guys are sticking in there, being persistent. Use the Facebook group. You got guys like this in there that are they've been through it. They bought the t-shirt, probably 2 or 3 or 4 of them, right? And they want to help. They want to help you grow your business. Because in the end, man, we want everybody to have success. Like, there should be nobody on here that isn't having success. So we want everybody to succeed and get moving forward. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for hopping. I know this was last minute. There's a few of you on today. Thank you guys for hopping on. For me and Wes in the big city of Collinsville, Illinois, we just want to tell you guys, man, go after it. Go after your dreams. Like 2 years from now, you have no idea where you could be, because really it was a year of struggle, right? And then all of a sudden, boom. And that, I cannot tell you guys how many times I've heard that same story. So stick in it, stick with it, get after it. And then maybe one of these days I'll be sitting in your living room, doing an interview with you and getting to talk about the really cool stuff that you're doing. So, all right, you guys have a great one, and we will see you guys inside the group.